you worried about the life insurance and the protection clock slowly ticking away? I've got a rough idea as to why you might be putting it off. I mean, all the big insurance companies want to do is just take your hard-earned money and then look for any excuse or any reason not to pay out, right? Well, or so you thought. In this video, I'm going to discuss something that touches all of our lives and why it makes sense to protect all of those things which are most important to us. Hi, welcome back to the channel, and if this is your first time, a very warm welcome to the Economies channel, where together we're going to be learning the language of money and wealth. We're also dedicated to mastering money and making financial wisdom available to all. My name is Simon and I am a chartered financial planner here in the UK. But before we start, we're going to put a quick disclaimer up in the corner just to let you know that this video is for education and entertainment purposes only and shouldn't be construed or misunderstood as offering financial advice. Now, our previous video was an urgent call to action to get your finances organised, to get control of your budget and your spending patterns, to create an emergency fund which will allow you to save for your future with confidence. And if you haven't seen that video already, I'm going to put a link up there and you can watch it later on. If the worst happens to you, then all that discipline and hard work and commitment can disappear in an instant. It always seems to me that positive news tends to happen slowly and over time, but bad news seems to happen very quickly. If you keep watching to the end, I'm going to include a very quick and brief case study, which you might find surprising, but hopefully will add some value and some context about what we're talking about today. As usual, let's start with some statistics here in the UK. 35% of the population has life insurance, which means that a staggering 65% or 2/3 of the population have got no cover at all. The average mortgage in the UK is £129,000, and that is combined with a further additional £4,000 of personal debt. This is one of my personal favourites. We are 5 times more likely to insure our pets than we are insure our own lives. Now, what does that tell you about how we feel about insurance in general? Maya Angelou was a poet and an activist who coined the phrase, which you might be familiar with, which is hope for the best, but plan for the worst. But if you're more of a John Wick fan, you might recognise a similar quote in some of his movies, which is if you want peace, plan for war. So what is life insurance? Well, life insurance is basically a financial safety net which has got your back when times get tough. Put simply, it's a contract between you and the insurance company where you pay them a regular premium, possibly monthly, and in return they'll promise to provide a financial payout either to you or your family if you can't work due to sickness, accident or death. Yeah, I can hear you asking, but why do I need insurance? Well, the short answer to that is because life is unpredictable, but let me give you some other reasons why. You can protect your life, so if you die, you can ensure that either an income or a lump sum can be paid to your loved ones. You can also ensure and protect your income. If your regular income disappeared due to a long-term illness or an accident, how would you or your family be able to maintain and meet your standard of living, but also pay for the outgoings in the long term? You can also protect your health. So a lump sum can be paid out on diagnosis and survival of a range of critical illnesses such as cancer, heart attacks, strokes, dementia, multiple sclerosis or organ failure, amongst many others. But what about the business benefits? Well, many of these insurance companies can also be paid through a company as a legitimate business expense, and that's going to give you additional reliefs, making it very attractive for smaller businesses or for the self-employed. There's also tax-free benefits to consider, and it's worthwhile mentioning that either you or your family will be able to benefit from a tax-free payout on a personal policy from the insurance company. There could be exceptions, however, if the policy is actually paid for or by an employer or a company, so make sure you check with your employer first about the benefits that you're entitled to and how they're going to be paid. Getting insured and being protected is more about peace of mind. It's knowing that your loved ones won't face financial hardship during what will already be a very difficult and emotional time. Remember, without life insurance, the financial stakes are very high and too high for most. A lot of people ask me, but won't the state provide? Well, statutory sick pay in the UK in the current tax year to April 2024 is just £109.40 a week, and this is payable for a maximum of 28 weeks. Just imagine, could you afford to meet all your outgoings and bills if that's all you had to live on per week? Now, some companies may offer more generous sick pay than others, so you need to make sure with your employer what they offer just to be on the safe side. So let's talk some numbers. Despite what you might think, here in the UK, the majority of life insurance companies have got very high payout rates, often above 98%, and that's been fairly stable since around 2017. What this means is most claims are paid out, providing essential financial support to families when they need it most. Now, this is a testament to both the reliability and the importance of having good quality life insurance. Now, there are many insurance and protection options open to you, and we're going to be covering a wide range of these in future videos. But if you've got any specific questions, then please drop them in the comments section below. So how do you go about choosing the right insurance policy? Well, really, it's about understanding you and what your family needs. You need to consider your overall financial obligations, like your mortgage, your debts, your family's current lifestyle, any savings that you might have, but also to include any company benefits. Think about how long you need the protection for and how much your family would need to maintain their current lifestyle without your regular income. So here are some very simple examples to consider. Have you increased your mortgage or extended the term of any loan? Does your current life insurance plan match both the amount and the term of the mortgage? Have you started a family recently, or have you had a pay rise? You need to consider how much are your death in service benefits with your employer, if any. Now remember, increased responsibilities is going to mean an increased need for protection. Now, I've left a link from the Sunday Times which attempts to bust some of the myths surrounding life insurance and protection in the description below. If you're finding this video useful so far, then please consider hitting the like button and subscribe. Tony Robbins is an international motivational speaker who said, "A healthy person has 1,000 wishes, but a sick person has only one." How true. Now, let's try and put this into perspective. Imagine your life as a storybook, with each chapter filled with dreams and aspirations. Life insurance is not just about the final chapter, it's about ensuring that the story continues seamlessly to a happy ending, despite the tragedy of losing a loved one. So think about the legacy that you want to leave behind and how you can protect your family's future. Now, some people believe life insurance is either way too expensive, so complicated, which might need regular medical checkups, for example, or overall inconvenience. But in reality, there are many affordable options and the process can be quite straightforward. Remember, the cost of not being insured can be much higher in the long run. After all, with insurance, it's better to be 10 years early than one day late. Do your research on the comparison websites or speak to a qualified financial advisor, but make sure you understand the terms and the conditions of the plan and don't hesitate to ask as many questions as necessary. It's all about making an informed choice, both for you and for your loved ones. In closing, life insurance is not just a policy or a necessary evil. It's a responsible step towards securing your family's future. It's about love, care, and foresight. So embrace the opportunity to protect your loved ones. It's not just about the payout, it's about the peace of mind and also about the security that it brings. Now, I promised at the beginning of this video that I would include a very brief case study, and I've included a graphic here to explain what we're talking about in a bit more detail. Many commentators will tell us that your most valuable asset is either your house, your pension, or your investments. Now, that might be true if you're older, but I would argue that your most valuable asset, especially when you're younger, is your income projected out into the future. Let's just think about that for a second. The average income in the UK is £35,400 in 2024. So if you're at age 30 and you've got 35 years to go until you retire at age 65 and you can't work due to poor health or sickness, you will effectively be losing in excess of £1.2 million of income. Now that's a very conservative estimate because we're not allowing for any pay rises, job changes or promotions. Now let me introduce you to David. He is 30 years old, he's a non-smoker, he earns the UK average of £35,400 a year. He is an administration manager at a design firm. Now what he wants to do is protect his income until he's age 65, as he's got a young family and he's very concerned about the ability to meet his bills if he was unable to work due to a long-term sickness or illness. He's checked with his employer and he'll receive a generous 6 months full pay from his employer, which will reduce to half pay after 6 months, and then this benefit will cease in full after 12 months. Statutory sick pay in the UK is just £109.40 per week, and this is payable for a maximum of 28 weeks. So what David wants to do, he wants to defer any payment from the policy for 26 weeks to dovetail as to when his company will reduce their benefits by 50%, and that does make sense. It's worth noting that there are different deferment periods and contract terms which will affect the cost of any plan, so please select one that meets your needs. In this instance, David will receive a guaranteed £1,868 per month or £22,416 a year for just £18.61 per month. This will be paid out tax-free and equates to about 60% of his gross wage. The reason for that, of course, is because the income payment needs to allow for income tax and national insurance deductions. He's now got peace of mind to protect his income until his retirement age for the price of a round of drinks. I would point out that it's important to review these plans to ensure that they stay on track to reflect any internal promotions, pay rises or moves to another company which might offer a different range of benefits which could be better or worse than the seeding company. Arranging protection can be very straightforward and a very inexpensive way as well, so why wait? Thank you for watching the video to the end, but here is a powerful key point from today. Taking action today can make all the difference for tomorrow. So if you like what you hear and you like what you see, please consider giving it a thumbs up and hit the like button. And we are going to be sending out videos like this every single week, so please consider subscribing so you don't miss out on any content. And finally, this is your channel and it's your voice. So if you've had a positive or even a negative financial experience, please let me know in the comments below. Thank you so much for your patience and we'll see you next week.